I am so glad to be joining you today. In fact, I was so excited about it that it's all I've been thinking about all day, and I've had so much to do that I just couldn't even wait. Oh, I missed the first person who joined, and Liberty's on. Yay! I'm going to turn this around. Yay! Yay! Kimberly's here too. And so I'm Sandy Peckinpah, and for all of you replay viewers and viewers, C. Mahoney 89, yay. So glad you're here. I'm going to flip this around. I scope about using your life story as the backdrop for the greatest life you can ever imagine. Yay! I am so glad to be here and join you. And I was inspired today by someone else's Periscope, and that is Michael Cinquino. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for inviting your followers. In fact, if you feel that this may benefit some of your friends and followers, please feel free to share. And you can share by hitting that little Perry guy down there, and it pulls it up, and yay, Jim is in the house. I am so glad. Yay. Okay, so I wanted to share with you that I am so inspired by Girlfriend is back. Yay. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so inspired by one of the Periscoping people. His name is Michael Cinquino, and I started watching him several months ago when I first started watching Periscope. And I'm telling you, he is such a huge influence on my life and my commitment to Periscope, and the influence and the connection that we can have on this medium. And so all of you, I have a few real committed people in here, and I'm so glad that you're joining me. It means so much that you come on and visit me every day, and you participate so much and give me so much fuel for what I do. Thank you, and thank you for all of the hearts too. So Michael Cinquino talked today. Oh, Jose, thank you for joining me. Michael Cinquino talked today about goals, and he had very specific steps. Thank you also for inviting followers, Jose. He had very specific steps, and I remember that. Thank you, Liberty. I remember that I took a course last year that was hugely significant in setting goals for my life this year. And so Michael, if you have a chance to follow Michael Cinquino, by the way, it's Cinquino. If anybody wants to throw that up on the chat, it's Michael Cinquino, and he is on Periscope daily. It's 7:30 Pacific time. He has a lot to offer people, and as I said, he has inspired me more than I could ever share. But he was talking about goals and how to reframe them and how to make them come alive in the next year. And so I started thinking about the program that I took last year with Michael Hyatt, and it was How to Have Your Best Year Ever. Ageless and Wise, thank you for joining me. We're talking about goal setting, and I'm going to give you the secrets that I learned in my program last year from Michael Hyatt on goal setting, and also from Michael Cinquino this morning. First of all, I want to talk about the goals that I set last year. And I call them goals because resolutions don't have the power that goals have. And hello, they don't have the power that goals have, and I'll tell you why, because I've written them out and I'm very excited to share them. You might want to get a pencil, because I swear it's the thing that kept me on track this year, and it's the thing that helped me achieve my goals. Now, I set about 7 goals. Did I achieve all of them? Not completely. I achieved more than half, but the other half, I achieved elements of them. And so I'm continuing with those goals. And it's made a huge difference in my life, looking at those goals, looking back on them, and realizing that it was because I set the intention for those goals that I was able to achieve most of them. And that's a very powerful thought. And one of them was joining you on Periscope. And I am so glad that I did, because I feel like what I'm able to do has such a much more broad reach than I ever imagined. And so I hope all of you who join me on Periscope also have your own Periscope if you choose, because you can't imagine the influence that you have. We are glad you did too. Thank you, Liberty. I am so grateful. You can't imagine that the power this medium has in changing lives. And even if it affects one life, that makes me happy. So I want to share with you the characteristics of people who achieve their goals. Number one is they believe they can win. And belief is a vital component to making those goals work. Because if you write a goal, say for instance, okay, people always have weight goals in the new year. So I'm just going to use that as an example. Matt, thank you so much for joining me. We're talking about goal setting and how Michael Cinquino actually inspired this post, scope today, because he talked about goal setting in his Periscope this morning, and it was very powerful. And it awoke my passion for goal setting again. I took a course last year called How to Have the 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever with Michael Hyatt. And this year, Michael Cinquino is offering one. And so it's so important to recognize, were you talking? Yes, I was talking about Michael Cinquino. And were you on there this morning? I think you were. Were you on there? I know that that's, I think, how you and I connected, Girlfriend. So the characteristics of people who achieve goals are really important, because it's the difference between success and failure. So let's see if we can recognize those characteristics in you, and if not, okay, good, you found him. If not, let's awaken those inside of you, because it is possible to awaken those characteristics, because everybody has them. So, Ageless and Wise, thank you for joining me again. And thank you for all of the hearts. That is huge for me. I think I have, almost 15,000 hearts now, which makes me really happy, because it makes me feel like I'm providing value. And so, again, thank you for the hearts. And it's a beautiful rainbow of colors. So the first characteristic, they believe they can win. Belief is a vital component. And if you don't, yay, thank you. If you don't believe you can win, let's start that belief. Let's awaken that belief, because I'm telling you, everyone has resilience inside of you and belief inside of you. I don't care what you grew up with or what you think your limitations are. You have no limitations, I promise, because I thought when I lost my child that I would never heal. I thought that it was something I could never survive. And guess what? I did. I did survive. Not only that, what happened afterwards gave me a life that I could never imagine. And I had to believe in myself. And when I couldn't believe in myself, I let others believe for me, and I surrounded myself with people who believed in me. And that's huge. So I promise you, number one, you believe you can win, awaken that inside of you. And if you don't know how, let's keep talking about it. I want to share all that I've learned with you to awaken that belief inside of you, because I promise it's there. Number two, they get past the fear. They don't accept failure as an option. And do you remember that song that Eminem did many years ago? Failure is not an option. And I promise you that if you believe failure is not an option, Ageless and Wise, thank you for inviting your followers. That means a lot. Courage Doc, thank you for joining us. We're talking about the inspired Periscope that I watched this morning, Michael Cinquino, who talked about goal setting. And I learned in a course that I took from Michael Hyatt last year also about goal setting, and Michael Cinquino has one that he's starting. I've learned a huge amount about goal setting, and I promise you that these tips will help you in some way, at least with several of your goals if you implement them. So number 2 was they get past the fear and they don't accept failure as an option. And whenever I started to weaken my belief in myself, I used to play that Eminem song and play it really loud in the car. And my kids were totally humiliated because they were teenagers at the time and they couldn't believe that mom was listening to Eminem. But you know what? It got me through those tough times when I didn't believe in myself, when I thought I couldn't do it, when I thought I couldn't create a new life for myself. I was suddenly faced with having not only grieving the loss of my son, but losing my marriage and having to support my children on my own. My husband passed away, and suddenly there was no support. There was no support for me and my children, and I had to create a whole new life. And I didn't know if I could do it, but I believed in myself. It's your job to humiliate them. Yes, teenagers, yes, absolutely. That's funny, Liberty. So yes, and you know what? That became their theme song too. So failure is not an option. Number 3, set the right kind of goals. And by the right kind of goals, I mean be specific. So if you want to, say, have a money goal, you have to set a certain amount. And what makes it come alive are the reasons why. So if you have a weight goal or a health and fitness goal, don't just say, I want to lose 10 pounds. That's my New Year's resolution. Cut that word out of your life because resolutions never happen. And even the word just sounds demeaning, like you just resolve it's a resolution like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to do it. But a goal, you're at the start line, you're ready to go, and when the gun goes off, you're ready to achieve that goal, and you're not going to stop till the finish line. And yay for all those hearts, because I know that you believe me and that you know that that's true. So by setting the right kind of goals with absolutes, for instance, I set the goal that I was going to write my book about surviving the loss of a child. And I'm going to get into the more specifics in the next set of information that I'm going to give you. But just remember, set the right kind of goals, and I'm going to be explaining why. Number 4, tap into your passion. Because by tapping into your passion, passion fuels success. And you know, there are going to be times when you want to quit. There are going to be times when you'll feel like such a loser. But think about what you'll gain if you don't stop. Just keep going. So tap into your passion because passion fuels success. Number 5, know the importance of starting. Just starting. And I think that was the thing that I've shared in a number of my periscopes, is the importance of writing the first line. If your passion is to write a book, just start with the first sentence. And I promise the next day you're going to write a paragraph. And the next day you're going to write more paragraphs and maybe even a chapter. If you just start with that first sentence, it's huge. And number 6, self-care is the foundation of all the steps leading to achievement. Self-care. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to achieve your goals because your mind is not healthy, your body's not healthy. All of those things help you achieve success. So, now I'm excited because write down what these things are. I think it's really important. So here's what you can do on a day-to-day basis to achieving your goals. Number 1, believe in the possibility. Yes, Liberty, big fat ditto. That's so true. Believe in the possibility and identify what's holding you back. So write down your beliefs about yourself. So I believed I was a writer. I believed it was inside of me, but I was afraid to call myself a writer. I had to begin with that one sentence. And my belief that I could be a writer was always inside of me. I had to start surrounding myself with people who believed in me as a writer. And I slowly identified what was holding me back. What was holding me back was a lot of it was my fear. And identifying my fear was, wonder if no one reads it, wonder if people don't find value. Well, I had to identify all the reasons why I wanted to write my story. So, number 2 is reflection. You can't move forward unless you reflect on the past and all of the beliefs from the past and the things that happened to you. And you have to find some resolution in them. That's where we can use resolution. As to why they held you back. And for me, I just explained the reasons why I thought I couldn't do it. I also was afraid of the pain. I was afraid of the pain that I had to delve into in order to write my story. And I know there are some other people on here who have that same feeling. I don't want to name you, but you know what? You're a terrific person for overcoming that fear and writing about the things that are very painful, because you're changing lives, and you know who I'm talking about. So I'm so glad you're here today too. You got to let go of the failures, because failures inform the future. Failures reveal a lot. There were things that I wrote that weren't so great, that nobody resonated with. There were things that I wrote that I felt they were just for me. And so they had a purpose. Because everything that you write has a purpose. Everything that you create, every thought that you have in your head has a purpose. And that means whether you're trying to control that little voice inside of you that says you're not good enough, that has a purpose. Go to war with that voice, because it's not real. It's challenging you to be better, to be stronger, to put yourself out there. And start calling yourself what you are. I shared in my broadcast before, I was afraid to call myself a writer. And once I started being able to call myself a writer, I became a writer. And I started writing more. And I started figuring out how to structure my life as a writer. And I had to make a commitment to it. When you identify your life experiences and the things that those life experiences taught you, the good and the bad, so you look at the positives and the negatives of those life experiences. For example, in my daughter being born, I had no idea that my conversations with my husband when he was creating the stories for Beauty and the Beast, that those conversations would bring about my own beliefs about facial differences. Because the hours that we spent talking about Vincent and how difficult it was for him to be in public, in the television series Beauty and the Beast, to be in public, to fall in love, to connect with people. All of those conversations that my husband and I had about that character that helped him write for that character had benefit when my daughter was born with a cleft. And she had a very severe cleft. I don't know if any of you have seen the pictures before and after. It's remarkable, and I am so grateful to the surgeons that helped change her face, and she is beautiful today. I am so grateful for the gift of Janet Solomonson, the doctor who did many surgeries to make her face what it is today. It was the face she was always meant to have. So anyway, when you can identify the best and the worst of those experiences, her being born with a cleft helped me write a book for children who feel and look different, and it had a huge impact on my life and my confidence in writing. So I'm saying, look at the positives and the negatives as you reflect back on the past, and you're going to start seeing some real awakening moments, and it's going to awaken the possibility inside of you. The next thing, Adkins Living, thank you for joining me. We're talking about goal setting, and I'm just going to do a quick recap in a few minutes. So, number 3, Turn your resolutions into goals. Get rid of the word resolution. And the practices that make a goal, I want to read these to you. Here's what makes a goal stick. The relationship you have with the goal and the relationships you have with people that can help you support that goal. Number 2, fitness around that goal. You create your self-care and the things that are going to support you in achieving that goal. Community, the feeling that you have a whole group of people who are supporting you and lifting you up when you don't feel that you're strong enough, people who can educate you and give you the insight and the inspiration. And I'm telling you, I'm finding so many people on Periscope who are doing just that are helping me achieve my goals. You can find them. There are so many fantastic people on Periscope. Number 4, the job around it. What do you have to do to make that goal work? Number 4 is making your goals smarter by attaching a why. Why do you want to achieve your goals? Okay, so I wanted to write a book that dealt with my healing experiences after losing my son. Why did I want to do it? Because it was my son's legacy. But why for me? Because I wanted it to bring peace. And for me to revisit that time and look at it and to bring peace into my heart about that experience. And you know what? It did. It helped me so much. I healed so much because I found that his life and his death mattered. Even though he died at 16, it mattered. His death created the possibility of helping other people heal. And that was a way for me to shift it and to look at the positive and the negative. So, number 5, what motivates us? Big goals create resistance. And I want to read you what Stephen Pressfield says. Leah Lewis, RRM, thank you for joining me. Big goals create big resistance. Stephen Pressfield in The War of Art said, the more important the activity or goal is, the stronger the resistance. So make the goal matter enough. Dr. Corey 189, thank you for joining me. I'm talking about goal setting, and I'm going to do a recap in a minute. The key to making it stick is what's at stake if you don't reach your goal. Well, for me, if I didn't finish my book, I would have been so disappointed in myself, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to heal. And this morning on Michael Cinquino's Periscope, he shared, there were so many people sharing that they wanted to write a book. And by the way, that's what I'm going to be doing in about another week or 2. I'm going to be doing a 5-day writing challenge for all of those people that wish they could write a book or a blog. I'm going to help you get started because not only have I learned what do I write about? Well, my most recent book is called How to Survive the Worst That Can Happen. It's a parent's step-by-step guide to healing after the loss of a child. And when I started writing that book, I wanted to talk about, oh, thank you. What a beautiful emoji. I wanted to help other parents heal because I knew it was possible. I wanted to bring hope to a very dark, dark experience. And I was inspired by Julie Cameron's book. Her book, what is it called? I know that you've read it. The Art... somebody help me out. Julie Cameron's book is, the way it was written was so inspirational, and I wanted to have a book that could be a step-by-step guide. So I have a chapter, and then after every chapter I have actionable steps so that your grieving goes from one of passive grieving to active recovery. And so that was how I decided to write my book. Yes, The Artist's Way. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. The Artist's Way. So, no, it was The Artist's Way. And The Life of a Gifted Child. I have to look that one up. So anyway, let's see. Let me look at my notes. The key to making it stick is by identifying what happens if you don't reach your goal. And for me, it was about healing, and it was about giving my son's death meaning and purpose. And that purpose was to help other parents heal. So number 6, make it happen by identifying the very next step. And by that I mean, after you get off this scope, write down the thing that you have to do to take the very next step. For me, it was writing one sentence of my book. For you, it may be journaling about an experience, or I wanted to also share the why for me. A lot of people have fitness goals. It was my purpose too. Yes, absolutely. I discovered that it was my purpose. I didn't know that in the beginning. And that's what it awakened in me, was that feeling that I had identified my purpose. And I was so grateful. I also wanted to remember to talk about the fitness goal. This last year, I know a parent whose child took his own life, begin depressed. I can't even imagine what that must feel like. Having gone through the loss that I went through, it was due to illness. My son had bacterial meningitis, and it was a very quick loss. Being depressed, it's huge. And I can't imagine how difficult that must be to heal from that kind of loss, and I am so sorry. My heart goes out. So, I just want to hold my book up again, because How to Survive the Worst That Can Happen, a Parent's Step-by-Step Guide to Healing After the Loss of a Child, has merit, and I know it's helped a lot of people through, and I'm so grateful that it's had such a broad reach and has been able to change lives. In fact, I just met with one of the women that read my book today. Someone had sent it to her, and we connected a few months ago after her reading it, and we happened to live in the same town. So I met her for coffee this morning. Parents sometimes don't take it seriously. I think everybody has a different reaction to loss, and I just hope that in those cases that there's a tremendous support circle around them to help them heal, because that's what helped me heal, was my support system. So I wanted to just go over, I'll do a recap really quickly because I've kept you so long. Characteristics of people. Thank you for the thumbs up. Characteristics of people who achieve their goals. Number 1, they believe they can win. Number 2, they get past their fear and they don't accept failure as an option. Number 3, they set the right kind of goals. Be specific about amounts or achievements. Or, I had to set the goal that I was going to make a living for my children to support my family, because I was the only one who could support them. So set the right kind of goals and the reasons why. Number 4, tap into your passion, because passion fuels success. Tap into the things that you love to do. For me, it was writing. And I tapped into that, and I never looked back. Number 5, you know the importance of starting. Just begin by doing it. Number 6, self-care is the foundation for all the steps leading to achievement. If you don't take care of yourself in every way, that means in mind, in body, in spirit, you can't fully achieve your goals, because you need to have that strength. So what can you do on a day-to-day basis to achieve? Dr. Corey, you say we must feel the pain to go past it. Yes, we must. Brilliant. What can you do on a day-to-day basis to achieve it? Number 1, believe in the possibility. Number 2, reflection. Look back on the past and see what you can finish, how you can complete it, how you can have feelings of completion about it. Let go of the failures and look at them as a launching pad to knowing how you can move beyond the failure from what you've learned. Number 2, identify the best and the worst of each life experience. Yes, I think we all need to empathize with others who are struggling, and I think that's such a good point. And I think that in writing my book, I really was able to open up a huge amount of connection with other people, because I realized that I knew one aspect of my own healing. I had to learn what other people were going through. And that was huge. So 1, believe in the possibility. 2, reflection. You can't move forward in the future until you're finished with the past. 3, turn your resolutions into goals. 4, make your goals smarter by attaching a why. Why do you want to do this? That's what I wanted to share with you. Fitness goals. So one of my goals last year that I achieved, I wanted to get in better shape and have a more design a better fitness program for myself, and that meant hiring a trainer. And the reason I needed a trainer is because I wanted someone who was going to push me toward my goal. Write your pains, live your love. Absolutely. Writing is one of the best tools of healing there is. And in the people that I work with on healing after loss or even transition from one life experience to another, I encourage them to write. 5, what motivates us? Big goals create big resistance. So remember, the bigger the goal, don't be afraid. It's going to launch you. The more you attack it, the more you get excited about it, it's going to give you even bigger possibilities of achieving it. If you recognize it has resistance, just recognize it. And 6, make it happen by identifying the very next step. So I hope this has helped you. You guys are so awesome. I love your feedback. And Dr. Corey, thank you for all your feedback. Cynthia, Liberty, Skullfriend, Kimberly, give life by listening to others who need it. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me. I wrote a blog about emerging goals, and here is where the blog is. It's bit.ly/emerging goals. And I wrote this blog, and it has a worksheet attached to it. So if you want, you can click on where it says, I've designed a worksheet for you for your goal setting purposes, and it's a pretty awesome worksheet. I'm really proud of it. I hope that you actually will. If you want to take a screenshot, this is where that is. You know how to do a screenshot. Hit the button. Oh, great! I'll check you out. I'll follow you. Dr. Corey 189. I'll follow you. So it's bit.ly/emerging goals. And Kimberly, thanks for coming back on. And you can also find me on Twitter at Sandy Peckinpah. And yay, yay, yay! Thank you for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow because I've made a goal myself several weeks ago that I would be coming on to Periscope on a regular basis. And for me, that means every single day if I can. I had to take a little break during Thanksgiving, but oh well. Thank you for joining me. All of my regular people, thank you. You make me feel so good, and it makes me want to continue. So I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And go read that blog and download that worksheet. I promise that it will help. And thank you for those fun emojis. Bye-bye.